visit the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center in downtown Cincinnati.
Why don't we start our American dream with a scoop of gelato across the street?
This flooring is from President Madison's house. They refurbished it and...
President Madison?
Yeah.
I am always blown away when I meet new salespeople, especially real estate agents, who post on Instagram once a month. And they say, well, that's not really me. Well, then the job isn't really you.
We do it in the spirit of going against the grain of the negative media, giving inspiring information, and having people walk away from our show with something of value.
You're seeing a disruption in both the real estate and the mortgage space.
A lot of people are just not willing to put in the work.
What video does is that it demands an emotional response.
You know what I love about the show? It's totally unscripted.
Welcome back to Your American Dream. I say your because these are stories for you and by you. We're sharing positive stories week by week and hoping to make a lasting impact on the nation. Today we have an incredible adventure with co-hosts Craig Sewing and Tani Vargas. We're going to be exploring a property in Rancho Santa Fe with unprecedented entertainment value. Check it out.
We have an extra special surprise today because Jenna invited us out to Hacienda del Corazon.
House of the Heart.
Say it in Spanish. We're in San Diego.
Hacienda del Corazon.
So terrible.
I know, I sound so white. Which I know what it means, the house, the heart of the house, house of the heart. My understanding is when we find it, it's going to be a massive estate.
My understanding is we were supposed to take a right, like 6 rights ago, but that's okay.
Well, at least it's a nice neighborhood to be driving around.
Rancho Santa Fe. We got a horse arena.
That's right, Jenna did tell me that we're going to get the ride of our life here, so I don't even know what that means. I imagine, hey look, there's a horse sign.
We're getting close.
Yeah, that's got to mean something.
I can feel the love.
I can feel the whiskey bar.
Hacienda del Corazon. You could smell the whiskey. I think it is.
Is it?
I see roses.
I see a awesome estate. Wow. Wow. Mark here. I can't wait to go in.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. Game time. Ready to show me around?
I thought you were showing me around.
Let's go.
That is an unbelievable property in Rancho Santa Fe, California. At 12,000 square feet, we were probably going to get lost, but before we do, we had an amazing interview with New York's Ryan Serhant, also the star of Bravo's $1 Million Listing, and he dropped some incredible knowledge on us. So get a pen and paper and get ready to take some notes, only on The American Dream.
I'm Kara Kay with The American Dream. I get to meet with Ryan Serhant of $1 Million Listing. It's an exclusive interview and it's one you won't want to miss. Thank you again for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
With the wine in the wine room.
It couldn't be classier, in my opinion.
I know, it's very classy. I should have worn a tie.
So I know that you know the importance of TV and media. How important do you think that is in real estate today?
I think media is incredibly important in all businesses. I think any business that does anything for marketing in any way, shape, or form is now a media company. I mean, if you're a real estate brokerage like I am in New York City, we don't build the apartments, we don't build the buildings. We're not really real estate brokers, we're media brokers, right? I find different ways to market my properties via media. And so for me, television has been huge.
Sure, I think you, of all people, know the importance of getting exposure to listings, which is why you've gotten into TV and media. Now talk about the transition into how important it is to be social as well as on TV.
Yeah, I think that if you're a salesperson, right, which is what the book is for, is anybody who sells anything, you're really selling yourself, right? You're creating a relationship. You sometimes have to talk about the product. Sometimes you have to go into the price. Sometimes you have to go into the features. You need to have all that information, but that's what you need to do. That's the job, right? Everything else, especially through social media, especially through different forms of media, is building that relationship passively, right? This, you and I talking right now, is an active communication, building a relationship. Right. But I can hit so many more people through social,
right,
through YouTube, through LinkedIn articles. People talk about passive income all the time. For salespeople and for a lot of people in our generation, kind of the gig generation, we have passive relationships, our passive income, because those will turn into other sources of work for us down the line, and we just don't even know what they are.
If you are talking to a realtor who really wants to make it tomorrow and in the future, what advice would you give them?
I am always blown away when I meet new salespeople, especially real estate agents, who post on Instagram once a month, who aren't doing anything on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitter, and they say, well, that's not really me. Well, then the job isn't really you. You can't sit there and complain about not having business or sit there and complain about how the market's so tough if you're not actively doing things that are under your control. And what's under your control is putting out media. There's so many different places to absorb content these days, and so many real places to hit real people, to target them directly in your neighborhood, on your block, like that age group. It's all about consistency.
Are you ready to cheers to your book and all your success?
Sure.
Okay.
Are we drinking this?
Yeah,
Are we chugging
I know
it?
nothing about wine.
So we're cheersing to the American Dream?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that again.
Okay.
So it's for real.
Okay,
Cheers.
cheers.
All right.
To the American Dream.
It doesn't get any better than Ryan Serhant. I mean, there is a reason why millions of people follow him every single week. We're lucky to have him on the show. And right now, we're gonna go back to Rancho Santa Fe and see what Craig and Tawny are up to. Check it out.
Now this is an estate. This is an entertainer's dream. Tawny, can I saddle up with you?
Sure.
In this full bar?
Have you ever seen an estate with its own saloon?
No, I've never been in a place like this. This flooring is from President Madison's house. They refurbished it and...
President Madison?
Yeah. So like from his house, this flooring from his house is now in this pad that we're sitting right now in front of this bar.
Well, I think I'm feeling a little presidential.
Yeah?
So I think this calls for a shot.
Shot, cocktail, shot, right, let's do it. We wouldn't be doing this bar justice if we didn't take a shot.
Well, I'm feeling classy, so how about the bad stuff?
All right, coming right up. 2 shots of bad stuff.
It's a classic.
Here I have your bad stuff. So I'm gonna pour us a couple shots, but I mean, could you imagine hosting a party here? This could serve hundreds of people.
And if this is your house, you're gonna be the most popular kid, and I promise you, everybody's gonna come party at your house.
Well, this is a great place to host them.
A few more of these, I think you'll be dancing on that stage over there.
I might get on that stage. Depends how we have to get along with the horse arena a little bit later, though.
Oh, yeah?
Check that out later. Do some things out there, have some fun.
Something?
Yeah,
Let's have
do
some
something.
fun.
It ain't my first rodeo.
In the midst of the darkest night,
Hacienda del Corazon is a classic property in Rancho Santa Fe.
chains that were holding me. You sent your son down to set me free. Everything
This property was originally constructed around the same idea of lifestyle that Rancho Santa Fe was founded on, and that is a simpler and a slower lifestyle.
Every time I walk through this house, I see another detail that blows my mind, but my favorite part about the home is that there's this incredible indoor-outdoor space that is accessible in every room. Living in Southern California and having so many beautiful sunny days, it's wonderful to be able to have all of your doors and windows open.
Floors from President Madison in your own private saloon. These are the sorts of things that I didn't even know I wanted until I saw them. This is an amazing way to entertain, but right now we're gonna check out how they entertain in your city.
Hi, I'm Lisa Phair from Coldwell Banker West Shell. As a realtor, I believe that all people should be free from discrimination as they realize their American dream through homeownership. In 1968, our government passed the Federal Fair Housing Act, which made housing discrimination illegal for all protected classes. This year marks the 50th anniversary of this important piece of legislation. So today, I'm at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center in downtown Cincinnati, where I'm meeting a representative from Housing Opportunities Made Equal to discuss why the Fair Housing Act is still relevant today. And joining us now is our guest, Deb Jetter from HOME, Housing Opportunities Made Equal. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Can you describe for our viewers exactly what HOME's mission is?
Sure. HOME was organized in 1959 by a group of concerned citizens composed of city officials, the Urban League, the NAACP, and people from the community who wanted to help eliminate housing discrimination based on race. With the passage of the 1968 Civil Rights Act, it was incorporated during that year, and we now advocate for people based on race, color, religion, national origin, family status, and people with disabilities. So those are the people that we have the legal right to protect.
Okay, and you've been doing this work for a long time. I heard about 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what progress have you seen in the past 4 decades?
Well, since I started in 1978, there's been great progress. I came aboard where discrimination was very blatant, and it was legal to discriminate, and people didn't get in trouble. Our city has gotten a lot better. I see real estate agents that are passionate about fair housing, and when I first came aboard, that wasn't true. However, on the market of rentals, it's different because these are owners who are new, they're emotional about their properties, and so we have a lot of complaints that come from that market.
And I was surprised to see that about 60% of HOME's cases involve people with disabilities. So I'm curious what some of the other emerging issues are in fair housing.
The lesbian, bisexual, transgender, gay, and queer communities, you know, they really don't have protection under the Fair Housing Act. So advocates are warring for that to be covered. So now if someone were denied housing choice because they're a part of that community, you know, they might be denied. HOME still takes those cases to see how we can help them, but on a national level, we're trying to get that class protected under the Fair Housing Act. The other emerging issue that we see is dealing with immigrants. That's an issue where some people are being deported, and that's a problem for advocates, you know, who stand up for their rights. We also see inequality in the credit area, where people who have built up good credit through the check cashing, you know, places, they don't have banking as most people see it, but they don't get the credit. So oftentimes when they go look for housing, whether it's rental or whether it's real estate, they can't be considered as anyone else. So advocates are trying to change that. We're also looking locally at historic patterns in our city of discrimination. Once that has started, there's still areas like housing authorities and counties and even areas in our city that has locked in discrimination. Claremont County, Brown County, you know, where there's not much diversity out there.
Sure.
And so we're looking for the government locally to build housing that's inclusive, like people with disabilities who don't have accessible housing on a large scale like they would like in every community. So we are moving to have communities be inclusive, where everyone has the opportunity for wealth. And wealth comes in owning your own home. And so that's one of our strives too, is to make sure that everybody who wants it has the opportunity to get wealth through housing ownership.
Well, clearly the work is still, you know, relevant and very important, and I appreciate that you've been at the front lines of it. So thank you, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
For more information about Home's mission, you can visit their website. And for information about the Cincinnati real estate market, you can visit mine at www.lisaphair.com.
Never been in a horse stable in California before. I've been in a lot of real estate, but nothing like this. This is cool.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I grew up in horses all my life. And this is honestly one of the coolest.
So Jenna is going to show us around, take us on some of these horses, but I'm kind of noticing there's not any here. This thing could hold 7 or 8 of them, I think.
Yeah, it could hold you. You could live here.
I could live here. All right, well, you're the one who grew up in a barn. So what about these horses? All right, and there she is. Hey, Jenna.
Hi. I know. I promised you guys horses, and there are no horses here today. But the good news is the owners took them down to the Del Mar racetrack, and we have the whole place to ourselves, and I have something super exciting planned. We have 400 horses up at the garage.
400 horses in the garage. All right. Let's check it out. All right.
So this is what I really wanted to show you, the toy garage.
What a garage, a lot of toys.
We have motorcycles, motorized bicycles,
Yep.
a classic Chevelle.
This is a beast. Now this is a nice car. I don't even want to touch it because I don't want to get my fingerprints on it.
But what you get to go out and have some fun with is this Razor.
So this is the horses.
This is it.
So I get to drive this?
Go have fun.
All right. Can I bring Tawny with me?
Of course.
Wow.
Go rip it
All
up.
right. Let's go cruising this beast. I'm gonna go grab Tawny and we're gonna go tear it up.
Now, remember, be gentle. The owners aren't here.
All right, got it. Giddy up. Let's do this.
If you would take all the posters on my walls growing up as a kid and put all the cars together, it would be that garage. I mean, that property is absolutely amazing and something that dreams are made of. But right now, we're gonna check out your agent in your city.
Good afternoon, this is Monika DeRoussel with Remax Preferred Group, sitting downtown Madeira with a special guest with us today, Frank LaRose. Thanks for stopping by my office. It's so great to see you.
Thanks, Monika. It's always great to be in the Cincinnati area. So happy to be here.
So tell us, what prompted you to serve us and help all of us to live our American dream?
Sure. So for me, as a young man growing up in the Akron area, I was inspired by my Boy Scout leader, World War II veteran, amazing guy, liberated a concentration camp when he was 21 years old. Thankfully, he's still with us. He turns 96 next week, and
Wow.
he's my hero, always was. I enlisted in the Army when I was 18. I raised my right hand and I swore an oath to preserve and protect the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And for me, that meant I served in the Army for 10 years, but more than that oath that I took, that promise that I made was a lifelong commitment. And so when I got out of the Army, went to school at Ohio State, ended up earning a business degree there, I decided that I wanted to pursue public service as a way to continue keeping that oath, as a way to continue serving. And I still believe that in our form of government, we need good men and women to get involved and to run for office. To me, that's inspiring, and it's a real way to make a difference.
Well, thank you for serving, and thank you for everything you do. As a father of 3 beautiful daughters, there's a hope for the American dream to never end. So what are we going to do to ensure the next generation to truly live and enjoy the American dream to its fullness?
Well, as a dad, my favorite thing to do is to spend time with my little girls. And I believe that throughout history, fathers have wanted to tell their daughters that they can be whatever they want to be when they grow up. But think about how remarkable it is. We truly live in a time where I can say that and mean it. My daughters can look to strong businesswomen like you as an example. My daughters can look to some of the amazing public service women that I serve with in the state legislature as an example. And they can truly be whatever they want to be in life. helping them get that good start here in Ohio with a good education and a good upbringing is just the beginning of it, and that's why I've enjoyed the work that I do. And as I say, although I'm traveling the state right now campaigning for public office and I'm in a different county every day, when I pull out of my driveway early in the morning, there's 3 little noses pressed against the window, wondering how long Dad's going to be on the road. I know that what I do is about making Ohio better, safer, more prosperous for my 3 little girls and tens of thousands of other young Ohioans. And to me, that's a job worth doing.
Well, and everything you guys do, helps us in real estate business, protects the values of the home. The average home price in Madeira in 2000 used to be $150,000, we up to $260,000. So, if the job market is secure, is financial market is secure, real estate market reflects it. And we all benefit from it, by enjoying our household and truly living the American dream. But we couldn't done it without leaders like yourself, leading the way and serving the rest of us. So thank you.
That's one of the reasons why the office I'm running for today is to serve as Ohio's Secretary of State. One of the reasons I'm so inspired to do that is because that office is the front door for any new business owner. And so whether it was my great-grandfather, an Italian immigrant 80 years ago, who lived his American dream by coming to this country and starting a business, and when he filled out his paperwork and mailed it down to Columbus, he waited days, weeks probably, for the Secretary of State to mail it back, and when he opened it up, it said, "LaRose, congratulations, you're a business owner." What a remarkable thing that is. Now, today, right here in the Cincinnati area, a woman could go online and fill out a few fields on the Secretary of State's website and wait just a couple hours to hear that she's going to be able to live her American dream of starting a business, being an entrepreneur, having a successful business. That to me is inspiring, and that's why I want to run to serve as Secretary of State.
Well, we are so blessed and honored to have you with us today. Speaking of supporting small businesses, why don't we start our American dream with a scoop of gelato across the street?
That sounds wonderful. Thank you, Monika.
Let's do it. Thank you.
So, Madeira is a great place to live, and I'm sure that La Grassa is one of the reasons why.
Today we're going to discuss the difference between a pre-approval and a full-blown credit approval. It's a super competitive marketplace out there right now. Limited inventory, it's a seller's market, and this can create situations where we're seeing multiple offers, backup offers, bidding wars, and we're even seeing situations where offers are being presented over list price. This is where we can step in and help out. We can actually offer a full-blown credit approval, meaning that an underwriter has reviewed and analyzed your income, asset, and credit profile. This then lends you more credibility in the eyes of the seller and essentially equates you to a cash buyer. This then allows for a quicker closing. The contract can be written for a 15-day close as opposed to the traditional 30 to 45-day closing. This has been Kelly Scovanner with Prime Lending and Your Mortgage Minute.
This is usually the time that we do the title tip of the week, but this week we're actually doing something pretty special. We're going to actually talk about soldiers this week. So my dad was actually a veteran from the Air Force, Ken over there. His dad, his uncle, I think he had 6 uncles in the military, and also the grandfather were all military, and one of which actually served for 22 years. Today we're actually here with Keith Maupin, and he is with the Yellow Support Ribbon Center. Keith, thanks for actually coming over here today and talking with us. And for those people out there that aren't familiar with your story, if you could just tell them a little bit about why you're with the Yellow Ribbon Support Center, YS or YRSC. So, just tell us a little bit about why.
Well, Matt joined the Army as a lot of young men do. And I have to tell you though, when he came home and said he was going to join the Army, and I had to tell him, I said, look, going in the Army is a good thing to do. I said, but you need to understand something. You need to read the newspaper because there's a war going on. And I said, whether you go on reserve or active duty, they're going to activate you and they're going to send you to Iraq. And I said, when you get to Iraq, if you're not willing to kill that man, Matt, he's going to kill you dead. He said, Dad, I got to do what I got to do. And I said, I understand that, bud. I said, but you need to know this is real, and you may not come home. He said, I know. I said, let's go. So he was over there probably 6 weeks, you know, by the time that they got there, and we got the word that he'd been captured. So it took probably 6 months, and all the Army guys were going away, and I tell his mom, I said, you know, they're going to leave Matt in Iraq. She said, how you know? I said, because they're all going away and they ain't coming back. And I said, so we need to do something. She said, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know, but you need to stand right here and we're going to get Matt home. And I come up with a simple plan. I was going to use her to get him in the heart, and I'm going to be back here to kick him in the butt. It was pretty damn simple, and doors started opening, you know. So his mom and another lady was sending care packages to Iraq anyway, because her son was over there. And so we come up with the plan that we're going to continue to send care packages to all the soldiers that are in Iraq, but inside those boxes, when we got a new address, we would put 50 of the baseball-sized card pictures of Matt in those boxes, and every box that went out had at least 10. So we always got different zip codes, which is a new part of Iraq, and apparently that worked, because I had a lot of guys come back and they said, I don't know what you guys did, but I've been all over Iraq and he's everywhere. And I said, well, that's what we're supposed to do. So when Matt, after the 4 years that Matt was missing, they called us and said they found Matt's remains. So, you know, a lot of Gold Star families out there. And to me, the only difference between Matt and their son that died or daughter that died over there is about 4 years. So we continue to do the Yellow Ribbon Support Center thing, and we send care packages to those that are deployed, serving armed
So on the stockings, can you tell everybody, just explain why is that important to send stockings to soldiers?
Well, you know, they're away from home and they're not going to be home for Christmas. And I think what this does is let them know that there's people back here that still support them and think about them and pray for them the whole time that they're missing. So we just wanted to give them a touch of home.
I was reading actually on the website, and one of the soldiers actually said that it was receiving the stockings was actually just comforting to them, because it just reminded them of people back from the United States, and it was just nice to not be forgotten. So if you'll please help us with the stockings for soldiers, you can actually drop them off at our office in Westchester. Mueller Funeral Home has actually teamed up with you guys as well. Whatever we can do to support our soldiers. We get to walk into the other room at Christmas time to spend time with our families. The soldiers don't. So please help us with the stockings for soldiers, so that we can help our military family. So thanks a lot, guys.
Well, that's it for this episode of The American Dream. I don't know how I ended up in the studio when Craig and Tawny got to ride that thing out in Rancho Santa Fe. Either way, if you have a property that you think would be perfect for The American Dream, or you have a story that you think that we should shoot out all over the nation, we would love to hear from you. And until the next episode, I hope you keep dreaming, and thanks for stopping by.
Till you come back.